John is with us right now and tracking what could be a severe weather day here along the Gulf Coast on Christmas Day.
Yeah, it really looks like things are setting up for some bad weather on Christmas. Stick close. I have some important information for you coming up next. We're going to see a big storm system develop by tomorrow that could bring us significant severe weather. By significant, I'm talking about winds over 75 miles per hour and strong tornadoes, possibly EF2 or above tornadoes. A moderate risk in our westernmost and northernmost communities, and a slight risk of that sort of weather throughout the southeastern United States, including all of the News 5 area. The risk as it stands right now is more for strong tornadoes, followed by wind damage and the possibility of some large hail as well. If you don't already have a weather radio, let me urge you to get one and make sure that the batteries are fresh. We talked about the WKRG News 5 weather app a few moments ago. Weather radios are available at Walgreens. They run about 30 bucks. This is tomorrow, 6 a.m. We'll start off the day with showers and thunderstorms to the west, and then we'll see these progress across the area during the day. By the evening hours, we'll have what's really a classic strong thunderstorm setup with a cold front moving into the neighborhood, a warm front providing lots of warm, moist air ahead, and this low pressure providing the extra kick needed to turn this into some really strong thunderstorms. We have lots of tornado warnings out there. Let's stay with Mobile for a while now because this is a wording we don't hear often. A tornado emergency in Mobile, Alabama. If you are not already in your safe place, what are you waiting for? Get there now. This is being indicated very clearly now with this pendant and hook here on the reflectivity scan of the radar. And it looks to be around Dauphin Street near Tack-On, moving up into the Allenville area. It will be crossing Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard and also moving into the downtown area of Mobile just in the next few moments. This is right in the center of town. Spring Hill Avenue, Dauphin Street, all in the path of what is now considered a very dangerous tornado moving into our neighborhood in Mobile. A very dangerous tornado. Get to your safe shelter. Get to an interior room. Get as many walls between you and the outside as is possible. Call your friends and your relatives in this area and get them into a safe shelter as well. Don't delay. Move right now. This is very, very serious. Highly populated area, extreme amounts of shear, tornadoes confirmed on the ground, and possible strong tornadoes in the center of town. Move now to that sheltered place.
You can actually see the tornado. This was the shot looking toward the west.
The National Weather Service Damage Assessment Team is out looking to give the official word on this, but it may be all day before they can finish. So from what I have seen last night and today, I've put together an estimated tornado path of about 10 miles beginning down near Theodore, working up to around the Magazine area in Pritchard. We start off with Drew Robinson's picture in Tillman's Corner area at the very beginning of this storm. We move swiftly up to the area around I-10 and Interstate 65 where this picture was taken by Crystal Sterling, and then a continued movement to the north and east put it in Midtown Mobile, where Trinity Episcopal Church and Murphy High School were badly damaged, along with a lot of homes. Pictures here by Lydia Dorsey and Alan Carter you just saw a few moments ago. From there, it moved up into Mobile Infirmary area, and George Camel took this picture, which was about 500 yards or less from my house. So this was a very personal tornado as well. But continued on into the area around Tolmanville and Plateau and Magazine, where Tiffany McCall took this picture at Sweet Pilgrim Church. And then finally, the thing lifted off somewhere over the Mobile River Delta. Folks in Chickasaw had a bird's eye view as it continued that path to the northeast, and new tornado warnings were issued later in Baldwin County. We didn't get any results of damage from those tornadoes, but this one certainly produced a lot of damage, and we'll have more on this in just a few minutes.
Now, John Nodar with First Alert Weather.
Well, you could certainly say things are much improved today over where they were Christmas Day. Clearing, windy, and cool outside right now. And here's the clearing part with mostly mid-level clouds where you're seeing them. Eventually, we're going to end up with nothing but blue sky out there today. It is quite windy, however, and we'll get to that in a minute. Yesterday's weather has moved off over central Florida, across the Atlantic, and then up into parts of coastal Virginia and the Carolinas. We're seeing just some blowback clouds off of the low pressure, kind of being spun back into our neighborhood. But short of that, there is nothing on the radar, and we're not looking for any rain today or tomorrow. Wind advisory is up until 3 o'clock this afternoon. It means gusts of wind, 25 to 39 miles per hour, and we put up a wind advisory mainly for drivers because it can affect your driving if you're in a high-profile vehicle like a minivan. But in this case, you might also know, if you're in the Midtown area or any of the areas hit by tornadoes, that these winds can also knock loose debris that was already loosened by a tornado. So be very careful walking under tree limbs and that sort of thing.
This is the objective: flying, falling, floating above Naval Air Station Pensacola. But before any skydiving begins, there are 8 pages of waivers to be signed. They mention death a lot. Producer Weston Robinson and I jumped at the chance to spend some time with the Army's Black Dagger parachute team and the Emerald Coast Skydivers. They'll be performing at the Blue Angels Homecoming Show this weekend.
Doing a halo insertion. You'll see them with big gray canopies. They'll have their oxygen mask, their weapon, their combat, their rucksack, and all that stuff.
We were scheduled for the second flight. The idea was to see things from the Black Dagger perspective. That perspective starts at 13,500 feet, about 2.5 miles high. The one scary moment is at the door. Once you're out, you're not getting back on the plane. Free fall lasted about a minute and covered about a mile. Once instructor Jim Horak opened the canopy, I was glad to see that it worked fine. We began a quiet 7-minute flight back to Earth.
You know, I'm used to seeing weather and dealing with weather from down there and looking up. It's a whole different world up here.
It was everything you think it might be. Intense, a little scary, beautiful, and fun.
I just fell out of an airplane.
Meteorologist John Nodar, WKRG News 5.